What's up, beautiful spirits? How you doing? Excuse me. It's Myra Magnus coming back to you
So much success
with
at
my
doing the
backup.
special relevant. You want to?
Oops, too quick. With my analysis of Kevin Hart's fact check of Katt Williams and the things he said on V103's Atlanta show on Tiffany Haddish, and really it wasn't really about Tiffany Haddish, okay? He was using Tiffany Haddish as an example. It was about the MO and operate the way Hollywood operates, okay, in their projection and depiction of black people in their films and anything they do through multimedia on the grand scale. So, first of all, I want to say thank you to Sly Jones for the reference to my first video on this. I appreciate you, sir. Let's form an alliance and keep it popping. And say thank you to everybody for watching this video. My only purpose here is to bring videos that help raise emotional intelligence, cognitive ability, and self-awareness, okay? And that's what Magnus stands for. Magnus is not my last name. Magnus means manifesting altruistic greatness, now uniting spirits. Manifesting altruistic greatness, now uniting spirits. And you can replace altruistic with African whenever you like, anytime you want. I got no problem with that, because we need to come together again, because we're so fragmented in this world right now. And I would like to say again, I appreciate your time. Give me 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the most, and let's fact check Kevin Hart and see what he actually was unable to truly fact check about Katt Williams, and to break down really what he was saying in retort to Katt Williams, and also break down a little bit what Katt Williams truly meant about what he was saying from my perspective and my opinion. Okay? One love.
Or did you Get Out? He now has a show that he's producing and starring in on Fox.
Let's go back to the beginning. Bingo.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's been on my mind, what's been on my heart heavy.
I was just trying to say a movie first.
I want to talk about the movie's sold.
Okay.
The movie's gonna be sold. Okay? Next week, September 28th. God damn it. Check it out. Check it out. All right, now I want to get to what's really bothering me.
Okay.
I want to ask black people what we want.
Mm-hmm.
What do we want? We complain that people of color weren't getting opportunities in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting ignored for the Oscars, for the Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big thing. After that big thing, people of color got recognized for their hard work, for their efforts, and run awards. People of color also won Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
People of color are now being given opportunities to star, to lead in various projects.
Well, just the ugly people,
Okay.
according to some.
Just according to some.
Okay.
When the people of color, when a
Okay, let me start right there. To answer your question, Kevin Hart, excuse me. People, you want to ask us, what do we want? We wanted, some people wanted the accolades. I really don't care about the accolades. I just think if you go about doing the work the best to your ability, to hell with the awards. You know what I mean? You know, to hell with them giving you their thumb of approval. Just go about doing your job the best you can. But what we wanted, or what we need, is positive images being depicted of us by the major show business outlets. That's what's needed. Because as long as they keep depicting of us in characters that Tiffany Haddish play, ratchet young black women, promiscuous young black women, ghetto, undereducated, improper, bad diction black women, the young black girl's gonna think that's how they're supposed to act. They will be implanted with that ideal in their brain subconsciously, okay? And they'll think, well, that's how we're supposed to be. That's keeping it real. You know what I mean? This is who I am. TV has that power. Social media has that power. Okay? And we ain't just talking about the TV. We're talking about this TV. This is a TV as well, people. It's not just your cell phone or your smartphone. This is a television now. Okay? So the television is all around us. This is what people stand in front of anytime where they're not sitting at the desk on their job. Anytime where they're not sitting on the toilet. But guess what? They're still looking at this or the computer monitor at their job. They take this now to their toilet. Okay? They take this on their break. How often you walk around and people are like this on their phone? And you see, look around and see people like this all day freaking long. This is, and the mini television, the smartphone and television is the most powerful weapon on the planet right now because it brainwashes people, it indoctrinates people. And those who control what's depicted over this little screen right here will control the masses or their perception, okay, and their perspectives if you control what they're digesting, okay? I'll call it the 3 Ps that I invented, okay? And if you control someone's not really 3 Ps, your experiences dictates your level of perception, and that will also dictate your perspective. So people who have very little experiences outside of just their neighborhood, who haven't had the opportunity to travel the world, okay, and see different things and this and that, their range of perception is smaller than somebody who has. And that also means their range of perception or their perspective would be more narrow or be not as detailed, okay, not as full as somebody who has had the ability to have many wonderful experiences around the world, because those experiences are lessons. Those experiences teach us, okay? I believe travel is the best teacher in the world, okay? Because you get to debunk and see for yourself the misteachings and falsehoods that television and this programs in us, okay? So Kevin Hart, we really want positive depictions of black people, not the negative depictions and stereotypes of black people. Because Hollywood is allowed and continues to keep pushing those negative stereotypes of us, they will actually, and truly actually, in fact, okay, be molding us, okay, without us even knowing. They'll be molding us into the people they actually want us to be, without us even recognizing it and acknowledging, having an ability, a cognitive ability to even acknowledge that, damn, why do I act the way I act? Well, television taught you that, okay? The pen is mightier than the sword, the tongue is mightier than them both. Well, what's the saying? Actually, it says the pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both. That was a great quote by Marcus Garvey. But that was in his time, in the 1930s. There wasn't television then. Right now, the pen is mightier than the sword. The tongue is mightier than both of them. But this is mightier than all 3 of those before it. Okay? Because this is what dictating what people believe more often than those people just learn how to think and the experiences they have in their life. Okay? So that's what we wanted, Kevin Hart. Not the lesser the greater. They help us push forward mentally and emotionally as a group.
People of color get these opportunities. Why are the people of color the ones that are tearing the people that are getting the opportunities down?
I just explained
My frustration comes from, you don't realize when I preach about the crabs in the barrel mentality that eventually we have to take responsibility for our actions. So if I'm looking at people that share my craft, I'm going to bring up the people that Katt Williams named. Little Rel, Gerard Carmichael, Hannibal Buress, myself, Tiffany Haddish.
Correct.
Little Rel is
Kevin Hart, I have a problem with you mentioning crabs in a barrel in the same sentence with Hannibal Buress. Okay? Because wasn't Hannibal Buress that crab in a barrel where he ran across the country doing a stand-up, pulling Bill Cosby into the fire or dragging him down the ground? Nobody. Hannibal Buress was the man, black man, who initiated the rage of something Bill Cosby allegedly done that was in the past. You brought it back to the surface. And now Bill Cosby faces sentencing, or has already been sentenced and facing prison time. So when you speak crabs in a barrel, Kevin Hart, wasn't Hannibal Buress using Bill Cosby as a stepping stool for himself? Wasn't he the crab in a barrel that you're talking about? I just want to ask you that. Because right now, if that's the case, you're being a hypocrite.
seeing so much success after doing his special Relevant. He went on to do Get Out. He now has a show that he's producing and starring in on Fox. Gerard Carmichael had his own show that he starred, wrote, produced. Gerard Carmichael is on to his second special. Hannibal Buress saw success within comedy specials and is now doing various movies and is getting the opportunity to have featured.
I'll never want to, I will support everybody else he said. I would never support Hannibal Buress, ever in my life. He took down America's dad, America's favorite dad. You took down a man, wherever supposedly he did allegedly, which is now so much information has come out about these women that I don't want to go into that. That's another subject. But you took down a man who did nothing but depict black people in the most positive light. Felicia Rashad wasn't ratchet. Neither was Raven Simone. Rudy. Okay? Vanessa. Denise. All of these were positive image young black females living in a middle class, upper class home with a black father that was a doctor and a black mother that was a lawyer. That gave black people something to aim for, a vision that was correct to help us advance our minds, targets, and goals. Thank you, Bill Cosby. Shame on you, Hannibal Buress. I can never support anything you ever did. I would never talk down on you in public or mention your name again. Well, I can't say never, but I just would never ever support you for that. Okay? Just for that. For being on a stand-up, being on stage in a stand-up and telling people, go Google Bill Cosby 2006 rape allegations. Watch, it's true. You were the first one, 4 years ago, that started it all. Okay? Who brought it to the forefront? A black man. The crab in the barrel that Kevin Hart was once just now talking about. How do you explain yourself for that?
Into having presence. Me, Kevin Hart, the guy that sits on top right now, have taken advantage of all the money that I have. I've shot over 56 specials for the up-and-coming generation of comedy. Why? Because I'm trying to create opportunities for others. Rather than complaining about it, I'm fixing it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in the fucking business, good or bad. My frustration with Katt Williams comes from you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility?
Katt Williams didn't say white man, he said white people. You know what I mean? We gotta understand the white man was birthed by the white woman, okay? We gotta understand we're teams. My natural partner is a black woman, his natural partner is a white woman. An Oriental, Chinese natural partner is the Oriental woman. Natural organic partner on this planet. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But he didn't say white man. Katt Williams was pointing out a fact of how Hollywood, who is dominated and controlled, ran, owned 99% by, well, let's say 100% by white people, how they operate and deal with us on this, and how they like the type of roles they put us in, predominantly, not all the time, but predominantly on the screen. And Katt Williams is absolutely right.
Responsibility for your actions. You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one
You
point.
were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You fucked off promo shoots. You fucked off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped fucking with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for...
This was sad. Katt Williams, we could say he had the shot, but did Katt Williams really want that shot? Katt Williams boasts of being independent. Okay? Katt Williams, all he did, for us, if you remember Pimp Chronicles, it's pimping. But Pimp Chronicles, all he did was talk about the things he saw in Hollywood that he realized wasn't real. Okay? He let us, his fans, know what was going on truly behind the closed doors, in the mansion parties and all of that stuff. Katt Williams was playing reconnaissance. Katt Williams is a real dude. You got a man who has the heart to adopt 6 children, crack babies, and children that was, abandoned by their parents, from the worst neighborhoods, from the worst conditions. That just speaks volumes to me about the type of man this guy must be. How many of us are out here adopting 7 children? Okay? I think Katt Williams, in my personal opinion, is a man who recognizes what's happening to us, and he was using his platform to speak out about it in the most savvy, funniest way possible. And he did an excellent job. Okay? And the powers that be understood what he was doing. Okay? So they limited opportunities for him. That's my personal opinion. Okay? How do a man get 19 convictions? Okay? Of 19 felony convictions and never get any time? They fucking with him. And the best way to derail somebody is to bring drama into their lives. Don't we all say we don't want no drama? Well, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? People or the powers that be put drama in your life to sideline you, to get you out the way, to make you look crazy, to make you look like an addict or whatever. Okay? Katt Williams smoked nothing but weed. If he has such a drug problem, how is he able to keep his 7 children? Don't you think CPS, or Child Protective Services, would have came and got those children from him if that was true? Think about it, people. Because he still has to work with adoption agencies with the kids that he has. they still come and do checkups on the children. I'm pretty sure they have something like that. If he has such a drug problem, how come he still is taking care of the same 7 children he has for the last 19 years? Please answer that for me.
What you chose and say, you know what, I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. So when you say Tiffany Haddish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho, shouts out to Lunel, shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Katt Williams. Katt Williams, have you ever used your platform to fucking bring the people that were under you up?
He must have, if you know those people by name. And we all know those people, Lunel, Melanie Camacho, Red Grant. We wouldn't know those people, okay, if he ain't use his platform to bring them up. Weren't all of those people on Katt Williams' American Hustle movie with him? Ain't they all toured with him? So yes, he has used his platform. I don't understand why he would even say that.
You haven't. So because you haven't, don't shit on those that now are. I've used my platform and I brought my guys and girls up. The brand of Kevin Hart is a brand that's expanded so fucking far, whether you like me or not. My presence in comedy will forever be felt. Because I'm a fucking boss. I sit on the top of it, and the opportunities I'm giving are the ones that I'm creating.
Katt Williams is a boss too.
So take responsibility for what you did. You fuck you. Nobody else did. You don't hear Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, the Kings of Comedy, Seinfeld. You don't hear George Lopez, Eddie Griffin. You don't hear fucking who else can I?
First of all, Katt, you can't he's talking about black people and black comedians. So why are you integrating comedians that aren't black into the conversation? You can talk about George Lopez since he is a brown man, a Hispanic or Latino.
Down the road of other comedians. Steve Martin, Martin Short. You don't hear the guys that got on top and that made it by doing what they love complain about the people that are coming under them. The reason why is because they're happy with themselves. Don't blame everybody else for your shit. Don't shit on my sister Light because you're not happy with your shit. This shit is earned. It's not given. I don't give a fuck if you're a Tiffany Haddish fan.
I believe Katt Williams loves himself. That's why he's a rebel against the system. Katt Williams is a rebel. He's a rebel with a cause, though. Katt Williams ain't saying the things he say just to be erratic most of the time. Sometimes I think he's saying some things Katt Williams do just to, you know what I mean? You know, let us know he's still around. You know what I mean? To ruffle some feathers. But in my opinion, 90% of the things he say is for a cause. To help us realize something. To help us understand something. To raise our cognitive ability. Because it's true. I'm sad to say this. A lot of black people worldwide lack cognitive ability. Lack self-awareness. We don't have emotional intelligence. That's how the powers that be, people on social media, are able to put agents of antagonism coming on people's comment thread or say something just to get you riled up, to distract you, okay? They keep playing with our emotions like we're a fiddle. You know why? Because slavery in the last 500 to 1,000 years of colonization and what's happened to us has emotionally crippled us in many ways. You know, and they had to do that because the people who did it to us are emotionally deficient. And I'll explain that on another video and how that came about.
It's earned. Tiffany Haddish got years in the game. It's not an accident that Tiffany Haddish got an opportunity to star in a movie. It's not an accident that that character popped in the movie. Written or not written, a character has to pop it.
And he even acknowledged the years that you put in before that. Now I want to ask
That
you,
was so
because
contradictory
you were
about it.
very classy in your response on social media, because the first thing I thought was, that's effed up.
His point was, if you remember the interview, he said they're now ready to down Monique and up Tiffany Haddish. And his problem wasn't about Tiffany Haddish personally. From my perspective and what I gathered, his problem was about how they keep the brown bag rule. If you're above this skin complexion, we're going to keep you out there. But if you're beneath this skin complexion, okay, you're not going to be considered beautiful for the most part. You're not going to be considered wanted by a man. And they will constantly, okay, remind you of that through continuous repetition. Through continuous repetition of the same images and images and images and images and images that our children are seeing, and they're digesting and saying, well, damn, I'm ugly. Because they never put a woman who looked like a dark-skinned, beautiful sister, who maybe have big lips, wide nose, and crazy cheekbones and kinky hair. She's looking at TV all day. It's like, I never see no images of myself as beautiful on TV, of men chasing. This is what's happening to the young children, young black girls and black boys also, who look at TV. This is what they're being showed. Okay? My blackness isn't attractive. My natural features isn't attractive. There's no such thing as beauty. Beauty is an ideal projected by the dominant culture. Everybody is beautiful. There's no such thing as ugly. The only thing that's ugly is what you've been taught to be is ugly.
What's Tiffany going to say? Because that has to be hurtful when somebody says something like that. Especially, I'm sure you were a fan of his, at some point.
I still am a fan of his. I think he's hilarious.
So what did you think when you heard that before you responded?
Well, I was like, dang, what did I do to him? Did I fuck his man? And then I was like,
I never understood the gay joke. And Katt Williams isn't gay. Maybe this is why a lot of people say Tiffany Haddish isn't funny, because some of the jokes she say may not even be relevant to the situation. That looked like a joke that, she's recycled and used for something else, but I don't see how it's relevant to Katt Williams. And Charlamagne had to try to play Red Grant like in the studio with this ha all loud laugh so people can follow up and laugh. But if you look at Kevin Hart didn't even laugh when she said the joke himself. A lot of people didn't laugh. It was just Charlamagne trying to sell it by laughing as loud as he can at a whack joke.
You're funny.
That's what I always think. When people say mean things, I always think that because I figure...
Listen to Charlamagne laughing so loud. It wasn't that funny.
And then I realized I never did nothing to that man. And then when I started really listening to it, I was like, oh, he got his facts wrong. He's obviously not paying attention to me, and somebody must have been complaining to him about me or whatever, and maybe he felt some type of way. I don't know. I just feel like, well...
I don't think nobody was complaining to him about you. I believe those who have the cognitive ability to understand the agenda being pushed by television can see easily what is going on over gradients of time, okay? Because they deal with percentages. If you keep, the saying, what did Adolf Hitler say? If you tell a lie long enough, people will start to believe it. That was Adolf Hitler. And it's true. It's proven every day in millions of situations all the time. If you tell a lie long enough, people will begin to believe it. Let's continue.
Oh, it is what it is. I'm not tripping. I'm not mad.
Right.
I'm not upset.
But did he apologize? Because we seen a picture there. What's the first thing he said to you?
He apologized. He said, listen, let me explain what's going on. And then he explained himself, and then I was just like, well,
what did he explain?
Yeah, what kind of explanation
He just
can
said,
you
I hate
give?
it?
Huh?
He just said, I hate it?
No, he didn't say
Did
that.
he say he was high?
I want to step in because I'm going to let my sister keep it classy.
Yeah. He just...
Somebody kicked my sister ball over the fence. I want to...
You said let her keep it classy, yet she just said, I don't know what I did. Did I fuck his man or something? That wasn't classy. So I don't understand.
Back. It doesn't matter what
Ain't
he
mad.
said. It doesn't matter what the apology was.
So you didn't like the apology?
It's not about the apology, and I want to get this very clear. I want to make it very clear. Katt Williams is an amazing, talented comedian, which is why I'm so frustrated. I sit from afar and I admire the man's talent. I don't like that you said anything negative about a woman of color that's getting her shot. Say it to me. Say it to me. I'll take it all. Hate me.
You do seem to be...
Woman of color? Why didn't you just say a black woman? I mean, because white people have color. You know what I'm saying? Sorry that I'm blowing my nose. I'm a little snuffy right now, but I never seen nobody. I ain't never seen no white people this color. But this is considered white. This is white, right? White out. White people, you know, are their color, whatever, but they're not this. So we call ourselves, we're not this. I never seen nobody this black. I've seen a lot of dark-skinned people, and I've seen a lot of pale-ass white people, but I never seen nobody this complexion. I never seen a black person this complexion. But we've seen people who come close, but regardless, just say black woman. That's what she is. Or we'll say an American of African descent. American with probably a few different descents or cultures mixed in her genetic code, just like a lot of us are, but we are black people.
Well,
Listen, I have sat back. I have forever been the humble guy. I have time to not be humble today. I have time to fact check everything he said because the world of Katt Williams is a fictional world.
Is he selling that? Let's run this. Let's run this. He said on his last talk.
I was like, when was she married to a white man? I went back and Googled. I was like, because
I've been proposed to by a white man before, and then found out he was really black when we did that DNA test. But it is what it is.
What? Notice after she said this joke, nobody laughed.
But you weren't married to a white man.
No,
I know that, but
yeah.
he's not Kev. Yes.
Kevin misspoke. I'm sorry, Katt misspoke. He was talking, and you know sometimes when you're talking and you misspeak and say something, I believe that's all happened with Katt Williams. You know what I'm saying? And the point that he was making, referencing to her always talking about, you know, I mean, she wanted to give it to Brad Pitt. And that's what Katt Williams was referencing.
4 million tickets
False.
on his last tour.
False.
That's more than Beyonce and Jay-Z.
That's more than...
And Katt Williams' point that he's saying, they only boost Tiffany Haddish up because she's always speaking about she wants to have sex with a white man. That's what Katt was talking about. He wasn't downing her. He was talking about the swirling thing that's going on, so to speak. How they're promoting right now white men over black men. And that's what they're doing in a subliminal way. And a lot of us see that and a lot of us don't.
Justin Bieber and Justin Timberlake.
That's more than
Billy Joel, the Eagles.
That's more than Beyonce and Justin Timberlake combined. Okay, do you understand how many tickets?
Let's actually say they're promoting white men of any other ethnic, I hate to use the word, no, I'm sorry, any other race of men. I don't use the word ethnicity. I would break that down in another video. But that's what they're doing right now. Like, the white man is the man to have. And why they say that? Because I guess, you know, at this moment, at this point, he's still the man who is in power and controlling and regulating a lot of things on this planet. And I don't believe it's because of so much of his intelligence, but because of his war capabilities and the militaries that white people have in place to make sure they stay in power.
2.4 million tickets are
Military.
Right now, all this stuff is Googleable. Is Google. You can Google it. It's all fucking researchable information. I'm sitting on 1.3 million tickets sold. Shouts out to all.
Katt Williams is not Googleable. I don't know why. I've Googled Katt Williams in many things, and the years, Katt Williams' years where he was mainly bubbling from 06, 07. And remember, he went on hiatus from 2008 to 2012. I'll reference that in a minute. Sorry this video is dragging out longer than I expected.
All the comedians that have given me the opportunity to get here, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without them and their hard work. There is nobody close to me in ticket sales and comedy.
And you on a worldwide tour.
I am worldwide. I am on par with the likes of your Bruno Mars, your Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Okay, I'm up there with those people. So in comedy, it's unheard of to get those numbers. To throw out numbers like
No, it isn't.
2.4 million is ridiculous. That's false. It's not even close. Also, to say 15 consecutive 100 city tours, it's false. What are you doing? So where did you do the new stuff? When did you ever work on something? Consecutive means in a row. Where?
When did you ever work on something? Perhaps when he went on retirement or went on hiatus from 2008 to 2012. That's 4 years. Maybe he was working on stuff then.
Where? There's a Forbes list every year that comes out. Go back to 2007, go back to 2006. Katt Williams has never been on it.
Because they
Go
erased
back to
it.
my last 5 years in comedy. I have 1 year where I got number one.
One point that I didn't mention in the last video was that understand the internet is a digital book or a digital library full of millions and millions and millions of books. And you know what the advantage of having everybody resort to Google or the internet for their information, the advantage for those who control the internet, they can edit it any fucking time they want. That's why the internet is so dangerous with controlling the masses. The internet can be easily a weapon used against us, and is a weapon used against us, because all you need to do is get a programmer who have access to whatever site it is, whatever company you make, and they say, his boss say, yo, change that, change this, change that. And he could do that in 5 minutes. You can't do that with books. I was gonna grab my books, but I don't need to. You can't do that with books because it's logical. You have to find every book that was sold out there of a specific topic, issue, knowledge, history, and burn all those books. You can't edit all those books that you already sold that has the right knowledge or correct knowledge or something. If you're trying to push a lie afterward, you have to find all those books, because somebody could research in those books and say, hold up, you said this, boom, 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 boom. I thought this was the facts. Now you're saying something other than that. So somebody can easily, you know what I mean, say, no, this is the truth. But if you resort to the internet for all your information, and people only going to the first 10 pages, which is owned, again, by the mega corporations and conglomerates, then they can edit that crap anytime they want for damage control, to keep confusion, and to manipulate the people.
This year I'll be number one again. I have 1 year where I was number 3. The other year
Manipulate
I'm
the
number 6 and number
information.
7. These lists are researchable. The people on social media, on the internet, feed into words. You feed into diction. You don't feed into facts.
True.
Another fact.
That is a
hard
fact.
fucking fact. Katt Williams did not own all the specials. He trashes the white man. The white man owns your content. You don't own it.
Well, the thing is with this is Kevin Hart is supposedly giving us facts, but he's not providing us with any facts to reinforce what he's saying. He's just retorting to everything Katt Williams said. Do you notice that? Kevin Hart is just in a war with words. He hasn't provided any facts. He's just telling you this is Googleable. Well, if you was to fact check Katt Williams, you would have these facts already ready for us to see. And again, you can't trust any facts on, I'm not going to say any, but you can't definitely trust all facts on the internet and on Google. Definitely don't do that. Because guess what? They have engineers, programmers that can edit that shit whenever they want. They can edit, they can print something today and say, hold up, we had a new, something else has developed, and guess what? We need to change that. And next week, that can say something completely different.
So Katt Williams don't own none of these
No!
specials?
Fuck False.
Is this provable?
I am now coming to get my sister's ball that was kicked over the fence.
You got it.
Now, Charlamagne did something where he said, is this provable? So he's not showing no proof to what the things he's saying. He's just now kicking back to his punchline to divert and still control the conversation.
I'm only saying this because of how you attack innocent people.
Yes.
Attack me. Once again, attack me.
Katt Williams was not attacking Tiffany Haddish. He was attacking the MO of Hollywood and how they operate and depict and control us and our opportunities, or how they depict us in front of the masses. That's all Katt Williams was talking about, excuse me. Okay? That's all he was talking about. His intention was to show that they're bigging up light-skinned women, because that's what he said in an interview. And those who've probably been putting in the hard work for 20 plus years, much longer than her, are passed over. Because Katt Williams said in that interview on V103 Atlanta that Hollywood constantly tells us that, or let me say, we are supposed to be in the only business, and I'm paraphrasing, we are in the business where what you look like is not supposed to matter. But yet, I'm paraphrasing what Katt Williams said in the V103 interview, but yet, they tell you all the time that anyone light-skinned can surpass you. That's what he said. And that's the point he was trying to make. He was not trying to maliciously attack Tiffany Haddish, but just use her as an example.
The armor. I'm bulletproof. Say it to me. I'm going to ignore it. I'm only doing this because of what was said about innocent people that are working hard on their
And
craft.
Tiffany does have an hour stand-up special
She's
on
got
Showtime
two.
from the hood to Hollywood.
She's got two.
Yeah.
She's got two. Also, Netflix specials are not given by what you sell on the road. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life. That's not. Another fact.
So it's not about tickets?
No.
It probably wasn't for you, Kevin Hart, because your range is everywhere now. You're doing so many commercials. You're on so many things. You're doing so much. You're working so much on so many different areas that they can't just limit. They could offer you $40 million, which you're about to say, but of course they can't just go offer you $1.3 million off your ticket sales, whatever sold, because your range, social media and television and Old Spice commercials and Codas everywhere is just so much. So you're garnish so much views that of course 1.3 million or 2.4 million what Katt offered, because he's not getting the same exposure as you are. That's a formula they have to use for him. They probably have multiple formulas of how they're going to offer people particular money for a special they do. They can't offer you 1.3 million, Kevin Hart, because of course you get more than that for a movie. You're everywhere, so your exposure is everywhere, okay? Everywhere, and Katt Williams is not. So that's what they do for Katt Williams, people who are operating or in the position Katt Williams is, but not in the position that you are, that's getting exposed and pushed by Hollywood everywhere, okay?
What's that
It's not
about?
about tickets. It's about your brand. It's about your return. If I'm a business and I want to invest a high amount of money in you, how am I getting my money back? Everybody can't demand the money
The
if
various
you
formulas,
can't justify
depending on
how
where
I'm
you
getting
at.
my money back.
Depending on
They
where you
business
at.
people. Netflix is a business. All these announcements came out for the specials. I kept mine on the wraps just because. Netflix gave me $40 million.
What? Whoa.
This is a fact.
We need better checks.
Listen.
We need better checks.
And we need new laptops. That makes sense. And I would like an iPad.
Charge a car if you feel like it. I'm just
I
saying.
told you he bought a new house.
The point that I'm making is that that's information. This is all researchable information if you go look for it. I just chose to keep it to myself because I don't care. I'm only saying this now because I'm fact-checking what was put out as fiction. Okay? That's not...
And I'm going to end that right there because this video has went to 44 minutes and I'm so damn sorry. it's so much I want to say, and but it's hard to do it in 20 minutes. So I apologize for having such a long video, and I'm gonna leave that at that. Everything Katt Williams said was not fiction. Okay, it may be fiction to those, or it may be called fiction to those, if it is hurting their investment or whatever it is he's calling out. And one thing, I want to end this on this one note. You know, the major word that's being used to try to counter the truth being spoken, is this word hater. Okay? What happened to the word opinion? Okay? Every person that's you're calling a hater is not being a hater. Okay? And the industry is using this word hater for their benefit. A word that we came up with, or a word that we used came up back in days of Yuckmouth. I think it was, he had a song in pH balance, player hater degree, and all this stuff. But this word hater is being used and put out there, and it's becoming one of those things where people are being afraid or are being called a hater, even when they say things that's truthful. So this word hate is being used as a weapon against us, okay? For people who speak out, who say the unpopular truths that needs to be said. And the people who it may hurt, or the people that aren't been or may be damaged financially or whatever by the truth that's being spoken by somebody else, they say, you a hater. And that person really isn't hating. That person's just speaking something that's fact, that's real, and something that needs to be perhaps confronted and changed, okay? But the person who's benefiting from it want to call the person who's speaking out the truth a hater. Why? Because as soon as we call somebody a hater or give somebody that label of being a hater, it's like discrediting him or her. It's now, the word hater is now being used to assassinate somebody's character, even when they're in the right, okay? And so we got to be aware of that. And I'm going to end it with that, beautiful spirits. I'm sorry for such a long video. And if most of you don't watch this entire video, I ain't mad at you, okay? Because it's dragged out much longer than I anticipated, but there's so much that needs to be said, all right? And there's so many points that I will hit further on in detail on much shorter videos later on to come. But beautiful spirits, you have a wonderful day, okay? All right? And remember, if knowledge, wisdom, understanding brings about unity and peace, well, guess what? The great deceivers of this world, they reverse that. They use the opposite of that, and that is promote ignorance, okay? Okay? So you can create confusion and then manipulate, okay? They reverse the polarity because knowledge, wisdom, understanding in reverse. If you want to control the masses, is you pushing ignorance, confusion, which brings about manipulation, then division and war. This is Myra Magnus, all right? I thank you all. Manifesting altruistic greatness now, uniting spirits. Peace.